for staying with us at STL Live. I'm Sarah Bernard, and my guest is Bill Kornfein of the JCC Used Book Sale, which is coming up this Sunday for 5 days. Is that right?
It goes through Thursday, so it's Sunday's the payday at $10, and then Monday through Thursday are free.
Okay.
So,
all right, 30,000 roughly
books,
titles.
yes.
So books on tape, all that kind of thing. Over the 5 years that you've been working as a volunteer with the JCC Used Book Sale, have you seen any changes in the numbers of books donated? I'm just wondering if, as people move more towards podcasts and Kindle and that kind of thing, are there less actual books in the world?
We still, fortunately, have quite a few readers, so we may have a slight decrease in the number of books, and some of our readers may be getting older, but still, I find that even young people a lot of them like both to look on the internet for the books and also to actually have the physical book in their hand. If you're reading with grandkids, a book is so much better than just sitting there with a computer. So, and the studies have shown that reading a book before you go to bed gets you to sleep better than reading an iPad before you go to bed. So.
Oh, that's a good little bit of trivia there, Bill. That's good to know, because people, we have our phones next to our beds, and before you know it, you're an hour in, you should be sleeping, but a book will help you rest. So that's a good point. So let's talk about, you mentioned children's books. What do you get a lot of children's books, and what other categories do you have?
We get a lot of children's books. There's approximately 50 categories, going from a ton of cookbooks. This time we've got a lot of history books. We have books on political science, fiction, mysteries, art. We get a ton of good art books almost every time. We have transportation. We have CDs, DVDs. We've kind of quit putting out VHS tapes just because we don't have enough people that have the VHS players anymore. Right. We have reference books. We literally have a little bit of everything. So, we have a section on Missouri book, and I brought one of the books, Kingsbury Place. It's by Julius Hunter. It's hard to believe, but that's been there in one fashion or another for over 200 years.
The Kingsbury Place neighborhood here in the Central West End.
If you're into St. Louis history, it's amazing, talking about the Choteau Papin families and the 13 kids that they had after there was a marriage, and then how eventually Kingsbury Place was started with private streets, and that was kind of a new frontier in United States history of having the private streets.
That's really interesting, and so all of that Julius Hunter has in his book. Have you read the whole book?
I've read parts of it. I have not read the whole book. I picked it out because it was a good book to bring here.
And you know a lot of that history, which is interesting as well. So learn about St. Louis, learn about our world. I'm wondering, as you're talking about the number of history books and political science books, do you see an influx of that after an election?
I'm not sure I can specifically say that, because a lot of people are giving us, what they've just read, and so maybe next time around we'll get some of the more recent political science books involving the current administration. But usually it's whatever people have in their shelf that, they decide to either downsize or just clean out their basement or just want to donate books to the JCC. It's kind of a variety. If you're into baseball, I brought a book about the ballpark book, which has some of the old Sportsman Park before my time in St. Louis, but it talks about how actually St. Louis had two baseball teams then, the Browns and the Cardinals, for years and years. And when in 1944 the Browns and the Cardinals played each other here in St. Louis, so didn't have to go very far for that one. Yeah,
so that's all in the book. So you've got a good selection of some of the types of books that you got at the book fair, and I'm sure there's a lot of do you have magazines as well?
We don't really keep magazines. I should say one thing that I want to note about our book fair, the prices are pretty darn reasonable. We have, I'd say, at least 95% of our books are $3 or less. The hardback are $3 unless we have them otherwise priced, like a special art book or a special collectible book. We do have some rare books that we price more than that. We have signed books that we price a little bit more than that. But the kids' books, 50 cents for a soft cover, $1 for a hardback book. So
it's a bargain.
And then if you want an even bigger bargain than that is, on bag day, $5. It's a pretty large bag for $5, and
just fill
get
it
as
up.
many as you want. So.
Yeah. So real quick before we go to break, in addition to attending the book fair next week, You take volunteers all year long to help sort as they come in, is that right?
We'll take volunteers all year round to sort. If you want to sort on a Tuesday morning or a Thursday morning or both. If you just want to do the preparation for the book sales, we can use you for that to get the books on the shelves,
Okay.
on the tables, I should say, and then sell them at the book fair.
Okay.
So we can use people,
right.
volunteers, or we can use their books. So
Perfect. All right. So look for Bill at the fair and get all those details. Please visit jccstl.com for more information on the sale and volunteer opportunities. There's more STL Live after this. Please stay with us.